My guest at this time recently appeared on AEW Dark, taking on QT Marshall. It is Zack Clayton. Zack, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me today.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
Now, Zack, I think people would maybe know you from other places and all that, but as a wrestler, let's start there because I got to go down a rabbit hole getting ready for this interview with you. How would you describe Zack Clayton, the wrestler, to a fan who's maybe not as exposed to you quite yet?
Somebody you need to see. He might not be very friendly, but you should definitely check him out. I love wrestling, man. Especially showing new fans who might even not really know what wrestling is, just showing them to appreciate the art and the performance side of it is just it's awesome. And every time it's just so much better.
Yeah, man. And so who did you train with? I think Taz mentioned Johnny Rods on commentary.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So what I did was started 6 years ago in upstate New York in a very small company there, just to learn the basics and then kind of like learn how to do a show. And I knew that I had to get onto somebody, that could show me to be where I wanted to be. So yeah, then I went to Johnny Rods, and so much fun there. And if you're familiar, are you familiar with them at all?
I am. I actually had other friends that trained under Johnny Rods, and so I know a bit about Johnny, but I'd prefer to hear what your experience was.
Sure,
like.
Yeah. So he was great. Obviously, if you know who he is, it's a great learning experience, and I got to do a lot of cool things with him, and who he would bring onto his shows and in training, and we got to work with CMLL. So I did my first TV appearances there with him. Through that time, so that was really cool to learn how to do all that during that time period.
What was the stuff that was hardest for you to pick up? What were the biggest challenges for you?
Just learning how to work for cameras.
Okay.
The physical part of it came very natural and easy to me since day one. Been an athlete all my life, and it's what I train my body to do. So that part of it's very, very easy for me. Without trying to sound too arrogant. But it is. And that's the fun part. And then the learning experience is also a bigger fun part for me, like learning how to do camera work and character work is the different side of it that's really fun.
So you're here, and we'll talk about the dark match more here in just a second with QT. Sure. But like, I brought up the Taz connection there because he mentioned Johnny Rods and like put you over, right? He was like, "This is a tough dude. We have similar backgrounds." Like for you, what's it like to hear a guy like Taz putting you over like that and giving you that kind of a shine on TV?
Yeah, he really did, and I wanted to thank him for that, but I didn't get to do that there. We just crossed paths after that, but he really did. And Taz is obviously a great worker, one of the best. And I appreciated the words that he chose to use for me because he didn't have to. No one told him to.
Right.
And he said some great things about me. So that was really good to hear.
Yeah, man. Well, you guys have I don't know. It sounds like you guys have like similar backstories a little bit, at least the way he said it. So I don't know if that maybe a little something.
Yeah, I would love to. I never met him before.
Okay.
I would love to have a conversation with him at some point if I could make that happen. But
okay. All right, cool. Well, let's talk about how this happened, man. AEW Dark. So how did this bridge happen here? What were you doing? How did you get on the radar and get the call to come in and do this appearance?
I've had a relationship with them for about a year now. Since I was at their first event in Vegas, Double or Nothing.
Okay.
And just kept in touch with them since. And they reached out for the opportunity, and they said it was like, they're like, "You want to come down this week?" And it was like 3 days from when they had texted. I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I got to be ready at this point all the time, So there wasn't any hesitation there. I went, and that was the first time I was backstage like that. To be able to meet and talk to everybody and see how things work there. And that was just a great opportunity and experience for me.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit. What was it like dealing with management? I mean, you see Cody and the Bucks and all these guys, we know them as performers, but they obviously have a hat backstage. How was it working with everybody in the locker room there?
Great. I didn't see Cody until literally I was ready to go out for the match. And we just we exchanged a little bit of words, and I went out, and then after I spoke to him a little bit, but everybody was great. It's a very friendly environment there, and it's really just welcoming, and relaxed, but obviously not too relaxed. But it's just a very friendly, welcoming environment there, and I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, well, and you got paired up with a guy. I actually interviewed QT like a couple days ago. So it was, unfortunately, it was more about his documentary and less about you. But I do know a lot about QT at the moment. What was it like for you getting paired with him and getting to work with QT?
Yeah, QT was great. I actually never met him before or spoken to him at all. So he ended up being a really cool guy, actually. It was great working with him. Very easy. We did very little effort and planning. It was very simple to work with him. He was a really cool guy. He kept in touch with me. He was the one I was talking to leading up to going to the event.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was on a few days ago.
Yeah, he was on. Yeah, I interviewed him. I think it was Friday is when I chatted with him.
That's great. He has a documentary. I didn't know that.
Oh, dude, you got. I'll put it over here right now. Why not? I mean, yeah, it's called.
Sure.
A wrestler, the QT Marshall story or Marshall story, however he says his last name, like a Frenchman or something.
Wow. Yeah.
But
see, I didn't even know that part. Marshall. Yeah.
There you go. You know.
There you go.
Yeah. No, he's got this whole documentary. He almost quit the business. Had a bad run in ROH. A lot of bad. Almost became a bad story, but a very positive story here now. You know.
Yeah, he's flipping it around. It's good for him. He seems to be having a lot of fun, which is great, and we had a lot of fun. So
yeah, and I know he's really a point person there, and that's cool that you got to like communicate with him going in and out of the show, and also get to have a match with him. One of the things I thought that was nice about the bout is like you really had a chance to do some dramatic stuff there. You know, beating him down right in front of Allie and all that. You know, did you feel like they were giving you a real chance to be seen and maybe do more with the promotion?
I did, and hopefully was the intention. QT told me that it wasn't just going to be like a regular dark match. It was going to be a chance for me to work and show what I could do.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. I told him that going in. I really appreciated that opportunity because, again, they didn't have to do that for me.
Right.
But they did, and I really appreciated it. And that was just such a fun match to work. That was one of my favorite matches, actually. It really was because the story involved in it was really fun. And QT's funny. The stuff he does is really funny, and the story he's got going on is amusing. So it was really fun.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things he talked about was, you know, he's always, you know, he's kind of an Arn Anderson type, right? He's like, you know, he looks imposing, he can get the work done in the ring, and he wanted to do something more character-y, and that's one of the things I was watching, keeping in mind as I was watching the bout, is it was like, yeah, you guys actually had a crux to work with. You know, how was it working with Allie too, by the way, in that bout? She was very interesting.
Allie was great. I love that character that she's doing, and the whole dynamic out there with Dustin and Brandy as well. That everything was great. It all worked really well. We were trying to figure out a way to incorporate everyone, and I think we did it pretty well.
Yeah, well, it was cool too because the action moved around. You had stuff over at the desk, you had the top of the ramp, you had in the ring. You know, I thought it was a real fun match.
It really was. It was a great chance to tell a story with. Obviously, that's what we do. But I'm glad it wasn't just like a match. We had a story to it. So.
Yeah, for sure. And you had Dustin and Brandy there. Dustin in particular, man, you know, what a legend. You know, he's been around like, 30 years or something plus in the business. As you're getting ready for the match or afterwards, are you picking his brain at all? Are you getting any feedback from Dustin?
You know, it's the first time I had met him too. And he was very, very outgoingly nice to me. And that was, again, something I was appreciative of. He said a lot of great things about me. I did ask him some things, and great feedback is all that I got from him. So he's a really cool guy.
Awesome, man. Well, one of the things I've noticed about the Darks recently is there seems to be a lot more matches, right? Like I think the one that's going to drop today is 11. A lot of new faces like yourself. What do you think is the reasoning behind this with AEW bringing in so many new faces and doing so many matches right now for AEW Dark?
Well, I would like to think that it's so they can find some good talent. They have great talent, but there's always room to expand, in my view. And I think that's what they're looking for. I also think they're not just picking random people anymore is what I was told there. They're kind of making sure these people have some credibility, and they're not just random people coming in, which is a good thing.
Yeah, man. Well, and you're known outside of not just wrestling. You know, obviously you have connections elsewhere. One of the things Taz brought up was your girlfriend, JWoww.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How does she feel? I mean, I recall she was in like Impact briefly, but like, how does she feel about you wrestling? What does she think when she watches you go out there and nearly hurt yourself every night of the week or most nights? I don't know.
Yeah, it's so funny because whenever she did that, it was like 10 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was awesome, and she hates whenever anyone brings it up, which I get. Like, if you're not involved in the business, you don't really like it. Like, you don't get the point of it. But it was so cool. She loves what I'm doing, and she really hopes that it's what I've always wanted to do and still want to do, and she hopes that I can do that for myself. And she's very supportive, and I appreciate that very much. She makes sure that I get what I want out of whatever opportunity I have with wrestling. So I'm thankful for that.
She seems very savvy when it comes to entertainment. I'm sure she's got good advice when you're sitting around the kitchen table, things like that. So
she really does, and she's really smart.
Cool.
She's really smart, and I would love her to be a part of it with me someday. I have to convince her, but
okay.
Not so sure about it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's out there now. Put it out
Yeah.
there. One of the things that's come up recently as well is, with these shows, like, you've wrestled, for years now, but you're wrestling in a very different environment right now where there's like no fans there. There's obviously like this weirdness in the air. How is it just as a performer being in that space right now and having to operate, knowing what all is going on at the moment?
Adapt to it. Like everybody is. Everyone anywhere in any field is adapting to it. But in stage performance, obviously a crowd is beneficial because that's what you feed off of and get energy off of, and that's what you're made to work to, is a crowd for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it was any, like, some people say it's awkward, and I didn't feel any of that. I kind of was just in the moment of what I was supposed to be doing and what my character is supposed to be doing, and using the cameras now a lot more, so, which is obviously better. But yeah, if there was a crowd there, that would have been a lot better just to feed off of.
Sure.
We're going to get there at some point, hopefully. Hopefully we all can get back to normal at some point soon and get back to our lives how we knew them before.
Yeah, man. And on set and everything like that at AEW, like, what was that like? I mean, precaution wise, are you guys, because one of the big discussions right now is like who's getting tested, who's just getting temperature checks, like a little bit of like how are you guys taking care of on set for the tapings?
Sure. Everyone gets tested.
Yeah.
I know people fly in and out from all over the place, but whenever you land there, you get tested by AEW. Which is a great thing to see. Obviously, you feel safe. Every day when you walk into the building, you get a temperature check a couple times whenever you go in and out. So it's a very safe environment, and that was obviously good to know, and I'm sure people like to hear that. So.
Yeah, man. Well, safety is safety first right now at the moment. And, with that, like, for you, you say that you got this vibe, like you were going to get this chance to be more than just a dark match. There could be more there. Like, what do you think the next steps are for you right now? What would you like to see happen here with your career next?
I would love to get back to AEW very soon, and hopefully that happens. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's where my direction is in my mind.
Cool, man. All right. Well, Zach, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Again, I'm with you, man. This match was a banger. Like, I really enjoyed this bout a lot. And so people can go check it out right now. But where else would you like to send people to find you, follow you, all those other things, Zach?
Sure, man. All social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm grateful for the match that I had there, the opportunity that I had there. Again, to tell a story within the work we do is what we do, but to have it be more than just a match for the first time there, that was important to me, and I hope that there's much more of that to come.